to say, Sam, this is how you feel, this is why, and this is what you can do about it. That's all I fucking cared about. I didn't want mollycoddled. I didn't want someone to wipe tears away, because obviously as a man, we mentioned this the other day, mate, I'm not working with any men hardly at the minute. I think men have a problem opening up about their mental health, and especially emotional eating. They don't want to seem soft. They don't want to seem like, weak. That's wrong, what I've just said. But in the mind of a man, and in the mind of me 4 years ago, that was how I felt. I did not want to be mollycoddled. I wanted some solutions. I'm a man. Give us something to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, there's no way, right? There's no way 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, I would have gone to me to get help. No way.
Me neither. I would have called me a hippie douchebag 4 or 5 years ago. That's talking about myself.
Yeah, and I would have said, "There's no way," and there's no way to gone to myself. Yeah, and even now, I did the approach. I went to a personal trainer. I did this, I did that. I was only through, as I do, No Reason Anonymous, and then eventually realizing that I'm not going to beat this on my own, and I need to get some help. I need to get some resource. I need to get some coaching, and when I looked at my mental health, I didn't go to an emotional eating coach, but I went through all of those bits that you do. You piece it all together and realize, actually, if I'm going to lose weight, the only way I'm going to lose weight is from the neck up, because if I don't deal with that bit, the body ain't going to follow. So, and that was it for me. And again, you just need to get guys to buy into this process. That, and to be honest, the guys are the biggest ones, because they're the ones who are likely to die having a heart attack trying to play football with their kids. They're the ones who are secret eating, or sat in the car, munching really grab bags of crisps that they grabbed at the motorway services, but they just need to admit it, but they won't admit it, because I want to enjoy my beers, I want to enjoy my takeaways, you can do enjoy all of them. Just stop eating yourself to death.
I think this is certainly wrong, but there's definitely more pressure on the front end for the appearance of women, and I think that's why they care more about that, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, and I'm not saying it's a good thing either, but I get that. But men as well, it's not as that the societal pressure to look a certain way isn't there. I seen something the other day talking about, the pressure on women post-pregnancy to get back to their original weight is huge. When a man, they have kids, and all of a sudden the man starts overeating, they get out of shape a little bit, they start exercising because of the kids. There's nothing out there saying, hey, men should get back to that. In fact, it's actually applauded, the dad bod. It's like, why is there a pressure on females to be a certain way, but not men? It's like, that's why men aren't opening up about their emotional eating. And I'm not saying that's right, that there's a pressure on females. I think beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. The bottom line is how you feel is the most important thing. And if you feel good, the chances are you look your best. But men aren't opening up about emotional eating or their mental health in general. Women are more likely to open up, which is fantastic. But I think men also need to realize it has exactly the same impact, just as much as it has on women. I just think women are more aware of it because it's talked about. They talk about it with their friends, and they're more likely to post about it on social media, saying, these photos are edited and they're fake. Women should love their bodies, and I love that. The female empowerment thing is great. Where's the male empowerment, mate? It doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't. I think you're right. I think this whole, it goes to the other end of the scale, and that, they go, I've got to get this body, I've got to get that body. It's like, no, why don't you just get healthy? Why don't you just have a healthy relationship with yourself, with your family, with your whole things? Because actually, if they do all of that, then it'll all fall into place. But as you say, they don't. They do this macho bravado bullshit of, I can always lose weight. It's easy enough to do, and but I'm okay. I'm carrying a bit of weight, but I'll be all right. But they're not seeing the damage they're doing, because guess what? Emotional eaters are good at lying to themselves and lying to other people, and they will just keep themselves.
It's essentially what it is, really. It's convincing yourself you don't have a problem with food when you do. And I've had a few calls this week with people who they didn't end up joining my coaching program because I just don't think they were ready. They weren't ready to admit, I need to change. It was always, well, what about this? What about that? It was outside reasons. It's different for me. The story, and it's like, it's a bit frustrating. However, we have to accept that they're on that journey, and unfortunately, you're only ready to change when you hit rock bottom. They've unfortunately got a little bit of falling to do, got a little bit of learning to do.
Yeah. And I think that's a valid point. People, you can, the amount of people I have either turned down or even kicked out of a program because it's like going, look, if you want me to work with you, then, I go all in. So, you've got to be all in as well, because I'm not going to put this effort into coaching you, supporting you, because, and you're not prepared to do it. You're going to ghost, you're not going to turn up. It's like, make the effort, stand up. If you're not ready, then accept you're not ready. That's fine. But don't try and kid yourself, and don't. It's like when people buy a program and do get the program. Well, I'm not getting results. Yeah, have you done the work though? Well,
Yeah.
no, I haven't. It's like, well, just because you bought a program doesn't mean it doesn't. It's like people who buy books and have them on the bookshelf and go, "Yeah, have you read any of them?" No. Well, you haven't learned anything then, have you?
Yeah, I haven't read it, but the book's shit.
Yeah. That classic one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That's why I got out of the PT game, I think, Chris, because I heard the same people coming back. Oh, I've worked with such and such, such and such, such and such. They're crap, so I'm coming to you, Sam. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, you're going to be saying the exact same thing about me to the next one in 10 weeks' time.
Yeah.
This ain't for me. I'm out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think with that, that's and I think if we can convince men to start opening up, well, that'll be a win. But I think there's a lot of work to do with them yet. So, and I think for me, the only men I've actually got through into my program have come through women who I've worked with, because their husbands have gone, oh yeah, I want a piece of that. And then the first comment is, yeah, you're going to give me a workout plan or a nutrition plan? No, because you don't need one of them. I said, let's get to the bottom of why the hell you just decided that you're going to eat 4,000 calories a day. Yeah,
no, I know. It's all mindset. It's all mindset, Chris, isn't it? It's literally mindset. Like the same kind of coach that you can help, a business owner stop dealing with, to deal with overwhelm and get his shit together to lead his staff by example. It's the same kind of mindset trainings you would give an emotional leader. It's all about, looking at what areas of your life you've got to avoid in, seeing what strategy is causing that void, and then seeing what can you change behind that strategy to create a new strategy. And then once you see progress, you go, I see it working. All these emotions that emotional leaders want: peace, calm, confidence, inspiration, motivation. A lot of people just binge because they've got no motivation, so they think, what's the point? Those are post-event emotions. You've got to see some sort of progress before you feel motivated, before you feel a sense of peace, gratitude, relaxation, calmness. You can't have it without taking action.
Yeah.
A strategy's got to be created. So just having all these problems, these emotional void in your life that you're not willing to look at, and binge eating is essentially a form of avoidance. It's a manifestation of avoidance. You are avoiding a problem in your life, so you're using food to fill that void. It's avoidance. It is a form of self-harm as well. I got a bit of shit on Instagram, like I said, for that last week. It's a medical disorder. It's not self-harm. I'm like, well, it kind of is, because you are not valuing yourself in that moment.
Yeah, so when I was eating myself to death and getting to 34 stone, I wasn't self-harming then.
Yeah. If you are drinking yourself to death, this is the thing with food and drink. Like you mentioned before, food's so easy to get. You can get on Just Eat in 5 minutes. You can go to the corner shop. You can sit and eat a pack of crisps in front of your family, a full pack, and they probably wouldn't even say now because they do the same thing. But if I come in with 8 cans every night, people will go, oh, that's a bit of a problem. But it's the same thing. You are drinking yourself to death potentially, which is self-harm. And you're eating yourself to death potentially, which is another form of self-harm. Yeah. People are not willing to accept that food can be harmful. Too much of anything is a bad thing. You could have water poisoning if you drank water for 48 hours straight without stopping. Yeah. You can die off water.
And it's funny because you say that about alcohol and gambling, and it winds me up, right? And I know it's all about personal choice, and we're not a nanny state, right? But we are to a certain extent, because all the alcohol companies pay into the Portman Group, who run alcohol awareness and don't drink and support alcoholic clinics, right? You've got Gamble Aware, right? All of the betting companies have to even run adverts to tell you to take a break, and we'll put things in. And if you're struggling, and they fund Gamblers Anonymous products. But do you ever see Just Eat, Deliveroo, McDonald's, any of these people who have really unhealthy foods? I don't actually see them being taxed. Having to go, do you realize, that, you're this whole ease of getting stuff, this whole, getting food. I went through one client's Just Eat account, and he was blowing $1,000 a month on Just Eat.
Holy shit. I've never heard that one. I've never heard that much. I've heard a few hundred, but not $1,000.
$1,000. Honestly, he was, the guy must have known him all personally. He was getting his breakfast delivered, mid-morning coffee, lunch, afternoon coffees, afternoon snack, evening meal, nighttime snack delivered by Just Eat.
Holy shit! He must have been minted. I don't know who could afford that.
Yeah.
He was minted.
He was minted, but I tell you what, that was the easiest sell. I said, I'll tell you one thing. Give me control of Just Eat account, and you can easily afford to pay for my services.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I've actually had clients before, like obviously you know yourself, the price. Oh, I don't know if I can afford it. One question. How much have you spent on takeaways in the last 3 months? If it's more than £5 a day, you can afford my coaching program. Shit, Sam, you're right. There you go. I'm going to join. I've had that a few times. I've also had people who didn't like that either as well, which is
yeah. Oh, I've had that. I spoke to one guy and he was like, "Oh, that's expensive." I said, "Yes, just go back and look at your bank statements. Just go back and have a look. You know,